When someone wants you to change something about your book, should you do it? Let's talk about it. I have my notes and I'm ready to go. All right. So it doesn't really depend. It really doesn't matter what the feedback is. And it doesn't matter what you write. Sooner or later, you're going to come across somebody who's not going to like something that you're doing. And sometimes they'll email you, or sometimes there'll be a review, or they'll leave a comment somewhere on your social media post, letting you know that there's something they want you to do differently or change. Now, I write books for passion. I'm not really into writing to market. If you are writing to market and that person represents the market that you're writing to, you probably want to seriously consider their opinion, because that's your group, right? That's who you're writing for. Now, if you're writing for passion, what you're doing is you're just basically, your primary audience is you. So you're writing books for yourself. And when you're writing books for yourself, you have a lot more leeway on whether or not you want to accept the advice. So I'm going to approach it more from a passion point. But I think even if you're writing to market, you may want to consider these things. The first thing is the person giving the advice. Is this person a fan of the genre that you're writing in? There are people out there who are not into the genre that you're writing, but they think that they know maybe how to better write in that genre than you do. So let's say, okay, I'll take me as an example. I was talking to a writer, and she does historical fiction. And I realized, and this would be wrong on my end, I started telling her how to write things more like with a heavy dose on the romance, because I was looking at it through the lens of a romance reader and what I would want as a romance reader. Well, her books are more along the lines of, this stuff really did happen, but she's kind of like, she's basing it on real people, real situations, and she's actually doing her research. And those things didn't necessarily go the way that a romance reader would want, for the couple, right? So that actually is bad advice for me to give her, because I am not tuned into what her goal with her books are. So if you have a situation like that, where someone wants you to put stuff in and you're like, that doesn't really fit what I'm writing, I would say discard the advice. And also, the second thing I look at is this person nice or is this person a jerk? Because I don't think I don't think a writer owes anyone the right to they can criticize the work all they want, but I don't think the writer owes it to respond to someone or to do any changes if someone is being a complete jerk to them. When someone's nice, as they say, the sugar makes the medicine go down better. If someone's nice, then I would say do weigh what they're saying. Because you want to deal with nice people and you don't want to reward people that are being mean to you. You have no obligation in any situation to put up with rude people. So then, if this person's nice, this person reads your genre, they get it, they understand what the genre expects and stuff like that, then I would look at the third thing is the person right? Is their criticism correct? And, criticism could also be feedback or just their opinion. So, opinion might be a better way of saying it. Because most of the time, nice people aren't trying to be mean to you. They're just trying to help you, and they're trying to make your books better. And they're trying to make you a better writer. And they want to be kind of as I think of them as like a coworker, I guess, but that's probably a bad example. But anyway, is the person correct? I will give you 2 examples from my life. Okay, so years ago, someone was saying that I didn't know how to do commas, and so my editing was really bad. And so what I did was I asked her, point out, show me exactly what you mean. Okay, well, independent clauses, and I don't know how many people are aware of these terms, but okay, so you have independent clauses. When these independent clauses are separated by a word like and, but, yet, so, things like that, they're independent clauses, so they need the comma there to separate them out, which means you could take and out, you could take the but out, and you could put a period there, and you'd have 2 complete sentences. Now that is the correct way of doing it, and I know that's the correct way of doing it. Now this person thought that you should have your an independent clause with a dependent clause with the comma there, but nothing with and or anything like that. And so it'd be like, or even 2 independent clauses, she thought they should be together, but joined with a comma, but no and or but there, separating them. And I'll give you an example of what I mean. I went to the store, comma, I bought bread. You don't put a comma in a situation like that. Now, if you were to say, I went to the store, comma, and I bought bread, then that would be correct because you're putting the and there and it's connecting the 2 independent clauses together. In this situation, I had to dismiss what she was saying because she was actually incorrect. So, when in doubt, consult a grammar guide. But there was a situation where the person was right. And so if anyone, there's the expression, I guess, from now on. I thought it was for now on. And then so when this person told me, well, it's not supposed to be for now on, it's supposed to be from now on. And I found out she was right. That's how I've been doing it in my work ever since. So yeah, if they're correct and they're nice, I would say go ahead and take the advice. But if they're wrong, and even if they're nice, but if they're wrong, you just really shouldn't do it. Okay. And then I would say another thing to look for on whether or not to make any changes would be how much work are they asking you to do? Because we have this thing like time is finite. And so we really have opportunity costs available to us at all times. We can't be in 2 places at once. We have to focus on what we're going to do. Yes, we can pay somebody to help us do something. And in that case, do you have the money to pay someone to do something? And 2, does this person that you're paying to do something, do they even know how to correctly do the thing? Because there are some people out there, even though they're assistants to authors, they really don't know how to do something, and you've got to hold their hand through it. So, you just got to look at, how much time do you really have for all this, and how much money do you have? Now, if this person's asking you to do something simple, that's a quick fix, maybe like you had a typo or something, or maybe the person was driving a car in one scene, and then what they end up like with a truck and, at the end of the scene. So you swapped cars or something on them. Well, that's a quick fix. You can go ahead and quickly do that and then republish your book and you're fine. But let's say they're asking you to do something that would be a heavy revision on your book. Let's say they don't like your character or they don't like a certain plot point. You would basically have to rewrite the entire thing to satisfy this person. And I guess some authors do consider doing that. And if I were... if you're asking yourself, should you do it? Well, the first thing you're asking is, what am I giving up? If I'm going to rewrite an entire book, that probably means you're not going to be able to write a new book. Can you afford to do that? Some authors will think, well, maybe it's worth rewriting the book and then repackaging the book. So I publish it as a new book that's out there. And that may work for you. You just have to see what your circumstance is. But other authors may think, it's an old book, it's not making any money, and I'm just really not interested in rewriting all that. I would rather focus on something new and just do better. Because, just because one person doesn't like one book doesn't mean that someone else doesn't like it. There could be someone else who actually does like the book just the way it is, even though it may not be an example of your best work. And sometimes you just have to cut your losses and go. I have a couple books like that. They're my earlier ones. I wasn't as historically accurate as I could be. But I'm just well, but it's do you just rehash all that and it probably won't make you anything? And the people that already fans of your work, they've already read it anyway and they were okay with it. Do you do that, or do you try to get something old and something that probably won't do much? And and the readers, out there, what they want is probably a new book anyway. So, you know, you just weigh it, whatever works best for you, right? And I would say the final thing at the end of the day is, what do you think of the book? Do you like it the way it is? Are you happy with it? You know, is this something that you're like, you know, even if this person over here doesn't like it and they think I should change something about it, do I like what I did with it? So those are my tips, and hopefully it helps someone out there.